Are lightsabers becoming too gimmicky? And that's both in terms of the lightsaber hilt designs that we see in the Star Wars movies and media, and also in terms of the different lightsaber products that we get on the market, like the Scream Saber here, which isn't based on any character-inspired hilts. So what do you guys think about this? Now, first, let's kind of go take a step back in time. Now, when we first saw lightsabers in Star Wars A New Hope, lightsabers were relatively simple. Arguably, the concept of a lightsaber at all, though, was sort of gimmicky, right? They're laser swords. You know, that's there's a big novelty factor to that. They kind of harken back to some of that classic sci-fi, some of those comic booky type of things, like Flash Gordon type of stuff. And so, you know, it's not just a sword, it's a laser sword. It lights up and it looks really cool. It makes these kind of sci-fi sounds. So that's a point I wanted to make right up front. You know, arguably the lightsaber itself is kind of gimmicky. But, you know, which is not to say it's not cool. It certainly is cool. That's why I'm running a lightsaber themed channel. But yeah, so let's just consider that when we discuss other finer points of this topic. Now, it was simpler, you know, back when the first Star Wars movies came out, because we just had single-bladed lightsabers, okay? So even originally, it was simpler than that. It was, you know, good guys used blue-bladed lightsabers and bad guys wielded red-bladed lightsabers. So, you know, that simplifies it a lot. You know, you look for color cues like that, and everybody's using a single hilt because, you know, that's enough novelty right there because people hadn't seen lightsabers before this, right? And then we get the green-bladed lightsaber in Return of the Jedi, and that was kind of a novelty in that movie. Although, you know, they sort of did that out of necessity too. You know, they wanted the new Luke Skywalker lightsaber to kind of pop out against the sky, you know, that's in the Jabba's sail barge scene. But anyway, so we could in some sense argue that the gimmicks began with the green-bladed lightsaber, you know, having the green blade color kind of diverge from the standard red and blue lightsabers. But, you know, we can argue over everything, right? Now, fast forward to the prequel trilogy, and that's when we saw the Darth Maul double-bladed lightsaber. And that's something, you know, most people hadn't seen before. It existed in some comic books previously, but, you know, that's the first time many fans saw a different kind of lightsaber, a double-bladed lightsaber. It's kind of this newfangled thing. I'm a big fan of the saber staff. I do like the double-bladed lightsaber because, you know, it's just a lot like the kind of a staff that people use in martial arts. So that's a pretty cool thing. But, you know, nowadays we have all sorts of different lightsabers. I mean, if we think back to some of the footage we've seen from Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker, you know, we have that kind of, people call it the nutcracker lightsaber. It's that folding lightsaber, or that sort of collapsible hilt lightsaber that seemingly dark Rey is wielding in some footage. But, you know, some people would say that's pretty gimmicky, that it has to fold out, you know, before it becomes the double-bladed lightsaber. We also have kind of the spinning double-bladed lightsaber from like the Grand Inquisitor, and so people can even use that as a helicopter and kind of fly through the air. And then certainly we have the Kylo Ren lightsaber right here, where it's kind of a throwback to more of a medieval sword style and look to it, but at the same time it doesn't seem very practical, you know, with those kind of crossguard blades to it. So yeah, I mean, there's just all sorts of things. It's kind of neat that, you know, the different writers and stuff they're coming up with these ideas, and certainly they're looking at, you know, weaponry of the past as inspiration. And, you know, that's another fair point. The darksaber, you know, here's kind of a Ruby's darksaber, and, you know, just the concept of a flat-bladed lightsaber, you know, that's something a little bit different. Most of them kind of have that tube sort of shape to it. So the flat blade is its own novelty, and then with the darksaber, also the fact that it uses a black blade, which seems to be kind of a contradiction, right? A black-bladed lightsaber. It's called lightsaber to begin with, and yet, people have been wondering about a black-bladed dark saber because it just seems very mysterious and elusive. And so it seems like people are always kind of trying to push the boundaries of what we already have and kind of innovate, come up with these new types of lightsabers, or, like the Ezra Bridger blaster lightsaber combo. We just see all sorts of things, in Star Wars media, and then some of them are adapted into actual products like this. Now, okay, so we have those lightsabers, and they're used as kind of storytelling devices, and sometimes they provide kind of novelty and surprise. But we also have actual lightsaber products that aren't necessarily based on any of the, character-inspired designs. So the Scream Saber just came out, and this is, a totally original kind of lightsaber. And it definitely has a lot of novelty factor to it. So when let's see, do I have it on the right setting? So see, it makes like Wookiee sounds as the lightsaber sounds, or along with the lightsaber sounds. And could be other sounds, all of that. And let me see, let me switch it. See that? Okay, that's kind of annoying. That's why it's the Scream Saber. I did kind of a weird little scream into it. Okay, that's probably enough time with the Scream Saber for now, but my point is that this is arguably very gimmicky. Might be fun for a lot of kids, though, too. Might be annoying for some parents. But at what point does a lightsaber cross the line? When is it kind of too much? When is too much going on with the lightsaber in terms of design or features or anything like that, where you think, it's kind of trying too hard? Feel free to comment below on this topic. I thought I'd just get you guys started with a few examples from Star Wars canon and legends, and also from real life products like the Scream Saber. So I'd love to hear from you below.